Good afternoon, everyone. This is Deaconess Elizabeth, and it is Monday, October the 19th. And I will be doing your daily devotions for you this week, as Pastor is taking the week off to do a few things for himself. So, today our daily devotion will be based on Matthew chapter 14, verses 22 through 36. So if you'd like to follow along, you may turn there now. So we will begin. Immediately he made the disciples get into the boat and go before him to the other side, while he dismissed the crowds. And after he had dismissed the crowds, he went up on the mountain by himself to pray. When evening came, he was there alone, but the boat by this time was a long way from the land, beaten by the waves, for the wind was against them. And in the fourth watch of the night he came to them, walking on the sea. But when the disciples saw him walking on the sea, they were terrified and said, "It is a ghost." And they cried out in fear. But immediately Jesus spoke to them, saying, "Take heart, it is I, do not be afraid." And Peter answered him, "Lord, if it is you, command me to come to you on the water." He said, "Come." So Peter got out of the boat and walked on the water and came to Jesus. But when he saw the wind, he was afraid and began to sink. And beginning to sink, he cried out, "Lord, save me." Jesus immediately reached out his hand and took hold of him, saying to him, "O you of little faith, why did you doubt?" And when they got into the boat, the wind ceased, and those in the boat worshipped him, saying, "Truly you are the Son of God." And when they had crossed over, they came to land at Gennesaret. And when the men of that place recognized him, they sent around to all that region and brought to him all who were sick, and implored him that they might only touch the fringe of his garment. And as many as touched it were made well. So, this is a familiar story here, Jesus walking on the water. So just to put it a little bit in context, so this is after the death of John the Baptist and after Jesus feeds the 5,000. So a lot had been going on in the days before this, and Jesus was wanting to get away with his disciples. And he told the disciples to go out on a boat before him while he went up on a mountain to pray. And so the disciples did as he told them to do, and they ran into some trouble. Obviously, there is some wind, which is causing some waves, and they're struggling to keep the boat afloat. But about the fourth watch, they said, and so that's around somewhere between possibly 3 a.m. and 6 a.m., so in the very early hours of the morning, was when they saw Jesus walking on the water towards them, which they thought was a ghost. And obviously we know that it's not a ghost, and here we hear Jesus say, "Do not be afraid," one of the many times where he says the phrase, "Do not be afraid." As he reminds us so many times throughout the scriptures to not be afraid, as he's there with us to help us and to hold us up. And so Peter here demonstrates his strong faith by telling Jesus to command him to come to him. And so Jesus tells him to come, and Peter starts to come, but as soon as his focus drifts away from Jesus to the waves and to the wind around him, he starts to sink. So we know that the focus of our faith should be Jesus and not the winds and the waves of this world. So, and then when they got to land, everyone immediately figured out who Jesus was, and they came wanting to even just touch his garment to be healed and cleansed of whatever diseases they were suffering from. So we see here a lot of trust and a lot of faith that Peter had a lack of faith when he started to sink, but here towards the end we see how people have faith in just the touching of Jesus' clothing to make them well. So our hymn today is going to be hymn 722, "Lord, Take My Hand and Lead Me," and we'll do verses 1 and 2. Lord, take my hand and lead me upon life's way. Direct, protect, and feed me from day to day. Without your grace and favor I go Father, who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done, on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our trespasses, as we forgive those who trespass against us. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom, and the power, and the glory, forever and ever. Amen. Well, thank you for joining me this afternoon for daily devotions on this Monday afternoon. We do have a few announcements for this week, or the beginning of this week tonight. As it is Monday, we will be having Women's Bible Study here at 6:30, both online and in person. The link for that is in our church e-newsletter. So if you'd like to join us, we will be finishing up Sarah, and next week we will move on to another woman of the Bible. And then tomorrow evening, we do have our adult instruction class at 7 p.m. here at church. And then looking ahead to Wednesday, we will be having our youth night again at 6 o'clock. So lots of things that continue to happen. And as you can see, the color in the back is red for Reformation, as upcoming Sunday is Reformation Sunday. So I hope to see many of you at our events this week, and if not, hopefully on Sunday. And looking forward to seeing you all tomorrow on Daily Devotions again. Have a wonderful Monday.